What is Kamen Rider? Kamen Rider is a Japanese tokusatsu series that primarily features a hero who undergoes a transformation into a masked figure in order to take on evil threats to the world, or sometimes the universe, timeline, it changes. It's a long-running tokusatsu show too, starting all the way back in 1971 with the original Kamen Rider by Shotaro Ishinomori. And since then it's kind of been running ever since, with only a few breaks from what I can tell. It's been split into 3 or 4 sections, starting with the Showa era, which is Ichigo to J. Then it went to the Heisei era, which started at Kuga and then ends to Decade. The Neo Heisei era, which is Double to Jio, and then all the way to the Reiwa era, which started with 01 and is currently still airing to this day with series like Gav and Zets, which is debuting soon. Though technically, the Heisei era is just Kuga to Jio, there's a weird sort of gap in between there. I first started watching Kamen Rider in about 2022, I believe, and I started with Kamen Rider Kuga, and almost instantly I was hooked. The action, the fight scenes, and of course, the henshin! And since then I've been watching a bunch of different Kamen Rider series. From Kamen Rider O's, Ryuki, Agito, Faiz, Blade, Hibiki, Double, Forze, and more. So, in wanting to play a Kamen Rider game, it got me wondering about, well, Minecraft. Surely a series as popular as Kamen Rider has a mod or two that I can play with, and while there were some really good ones in Japanese, they had not a whole lot of content to play with, and outside of the really cool transformation sequences, there wasn't really much I can do in a survival setting. But after not too much digging, because this mod was huge, I did stumble upon Kamen Rider Craft, which basically adds every single Kamen Rider from the Showa era all the way up to the most recent Reiwa era riders, even some non-canon or lesser known spin-off riders. So, it got me thinking. I want to play through this mod in survival and attempt to craft and transform into all the primary Heisei and Reiwa riders, as well as a majority of their forms. And the reason I say majority is because for some riders like Forze, it's pretty simple. He has about 3-5 states. And then for riders like Build, they have like 900 possible forms. And that's just too many forms. I'm not doing all that. So I'm going to stick to mainly their like significant power-ups, as well as, Build in his case, I'll just try to get his best matches, like the main one he uses in the show, and the Hazard Trigger and Genius Ball. I also want to avoid cheating as much as I possibly can, and the only reason I bring this up is because while this mod does in fact add every rider all the way up to Zets for the most part, or Zetsu, there's no legitimate way of obtaining this rider, so despite him being really cool, and he does even have some abilities, there's no way I can obtain this guy unless I bend the rules slightly. So I'm going to try avoiding that, but if it's for a major thing, like a final form, and I can't obtain that final form yet, I might have to add my own limitation on what will allow me to craft / allow myself to clear in, should the, situation call for it. It's either that or I wait for them to update, because this mod is still being worked on. Also, as a little note, I've not seen every Kamen Rider series. I'm just going off of what's in the mod. So, for example, Kabuto, I've started, I'm like 8 episodes in, so I'm gonna try avoid spoilers for the most part. I don't know what classifies as a spoiler, but, if the obtainment method requires me to kill a specific enemy, I'm not gonna go and Google who that enemy is in the show and give you a whole description of him. Right, I'm just gonna Google what I need to do in the mod, using the mod's in-game book, which sort of contains all the information you need to know about every rider, and, from there I'll carry on as normal. You shouldn't have to worry about spoilers when watching this series. With all that said, I guess you can just enjoy the series. Like I said, I plan on keeping it going for a little while, so you don't need to worry about watching it in chronological order. You can jump in at episode 20, 30, however many there are, and all you'll have missed is how I obtained certain riders. But to watch that, you can just go back and see the previous episodes in the playlist. So yeah, without any further ado, feel free to go watch episode 1.